This is FilmBookCast.
FilmBookCast.
FilmBookCast, the official podcast of FilmBook. Get ready for the latest in film news, TV show news, and theatrical reviews. FilmBook's podcast starts now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to FilmBookCast, the official podcast of FilmBook. My name is Chris Banks. If you're tuning into FilmBookCast for the first time, what I do on this podcast is discuss the latest film and TV show news, trailers, and sometimes we do an in-theater film review. You can find more about FilmBookCast on film-book.com by using the search term FilmBookCast. You can also email us at podcast@film-book.com with FilmBookCast in the subject line. Let's jump right into it this week. This week in movie news, the Flash director Andy Muschietti is tackling the new Batman movie, The Brave and the Bold. The film is set to introduce Bruce Wayne's son, Damian Wade. He finalized a deal to direct The Brave and the Bold this week. The Brave and the Bold will introduce a completely new big-screen version of Batman, one that will fit into the expansive universe being developed by DC studio heads James Gunn and Peter Safran. The involvement has been whispered about for several weeks now. Muschietti, who has been on the Flash press tour, has been coy about his connection. It's unclear if the project has a writer, though according to sources, Christina Hudson, who wrote Muschietti's The Flash, was circling, but decamped to work on the Fast and Furious movie. Unknown what writer will end up being hired, but exciting news for fans of Batman as Brave and the Bold is part of the first chapter of storytelling in Gunn and Safran's DC universe. Some more box office news is Flash starts off with $9.7 million in previews. DC and Warner Brothers superhero epic starring Ezra Miller is set to do pretty well. It's on its way to a domestic opening of over 80 million, and the studio's leadership has been hopeful for the movie's performance for months, saying that it's the best superhero movie I've ever seen. And finally this week, fans of Lord of the Ring has some good news. Warner Brothers is making new movies, and it appears the studio is even trying hard to woo Peter Jackson back into directing. We'll keep up with news about progress that the studio may be making another Lord of the Rings movie. This week in TV news, the future of Max's Velma is no longer a mystery. The animated comedy starring and executive produced by Mindy Kaling is renewed for season 2. Velma's 10-episode first season scored a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, but an anemic 7% among audiences. We'll see how season 2 fares. Some more TV news, director Mike Flanagan gives an update on the Dark Tower TV show. He says we're on a great path. During the Tribeca Film Festival Q&A, he said that the Dark Tower is the one I want to do the most. But I'm very optimistic, since we're on a strike, that we're on a great path, and we have good partners, but we can't talk about it. Last December, Deadline revealed that Flanagan and his producing partner Trevor Macy were working on an adaptation of the Dark Tower book, which the director envisioned as a 5-season TV show, followed by 2 standalone features. We'll keep up with news about the Dark Tower, but exciting news for fans of the book. Now let's check out some international entertainment news from this week. Tying into the Tribeca Film Festival from the past week, I watched a movie called Boca Chica, directed by Gabriela A. Moses, and it turns out that she just got signed this week to an overall deal with Gersh. The Dominican Guyanese-American writer and director is on a mission to share stories with underrepresented protagonists to test viewers' perceptions of identity in their imaginations. Very exciting news for cinema fans. Some more international news, a feature adaptation of John William Polidori's classic 19th century Gothic novel, The Vampire, one of the first English-language novels to feature blood-sucking creatures, is in the works. We understand the production on the picture, titled The Vampire, Blood and Ink, is set to begin this year across northern Italy in the United Kingdom. We don't know who the director is, but the screenplay is written by Rosanna Hamlin. Written in 1819, Polidori's The Vampire precedes Bram Stoker's Dracula by nearly 100 years and holds wide significance within the Gothic genre. Exciting news for fans of Gothic horror. Lastly this week in international news, an interesting article came out of Deadline this week that Paramount and Warner Brothers, the international TV and European executives, have been debating the value of intellectual property and packaging. They consider intellectual property the top of the pile. and consumers, quote, consumers can choose from so much content, so an IP or a AAA talent makes the choice easier. The importance is the story is the most important part of it. It's good to know that even in spite of the size of the IPs and the scale of the industry as it's evolving, the priority and the focus is still on the quality of the story. That's it for international news from this week. Now let's check out some DVD releases from this week. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is now on DVD. While working underground to fix a water main, Brooklyn plumbers and brothers Mario and Luigi are transported down a mysterious pipe and wander into a magical new world. When the brothers are separated, Mario embarks on an epic quest to find Luigi. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is now available on DVD. The Pope's Exorcist is now available on DVD. Father Gabriel Amorth was an Italian Roman Catholic priest who served as the chief exorcist of the Diocese of Rome for over 25 years. He was a strong advocate for the practice of exorcism in the Catholic Church and performed thousands of exorcisms during his career. Despite facing criticisms from some quarters, he remained dedicated to his mission and was widely respected for his unwavering commitment to helping those believed to be possessed by evil spirits. Despite his passing in 2016, his legacy continues to inspire and influence those who believe in the power of exorcisms to this day. The Pope's Exorcist is now available on DVD. Sweetwater is now available on DVD. In 1950, Nat Sweetwater Clifton is a young African-American basketball player who dreams of playing in the NBA. Despite the racism of the time, Sweetwater's talent and determination helped him to overcome all obstacles and become the first black player to sign an NBA contract. Sweetwater's signing is a watershed moment in American history, and it helps pave the way for other African Americans to achieve the success in sports and other areas of American life. Sweetwater's story is one of courage, perseverance, and triumph over adversity. Sweetwater is now available on DVD. That's it for at-home releases from this week. Let's check out some film trailers from this week. A new generation of stars is about to join the Expendables. Another adrenaline-fueled adventure in the Expendables franchise is coming to us this September in Expendables 4. This time, the team of elite mercenaries is joined by 50 Cent, Megan Fox, Andy Garcia, and so many more. As the world's last line of defense, the team gets called into action once more and must contend with the new team members' styles and tactics. The franchise has made over $804 million worldwide. Check out the trailer for Expendables 4. It'll be in theaters September 22nd. Another film that'll debut, but we'll have to wait for a while for this one. It comes from Disney, and it's not going to debut till March of next year. It's called Elio. It's about an underdog with a wild imagination who finds himself beamed up to the Communiverse, an interplanetary organization representing galaxies far, far away. Believed to be Earth's leader, Elio must survive a series of dangerous trials, forming new relationships with an eccentric array of alien life forms along the way. Directed by Adrian Molina, who directed Coco and wrote it, the film features the voices of America Ferrera, Jamila Jamil, Brad Garrett, and Jonas Kabrib as Elio. Check out the trailer for Elio. It'll debut in theaters March 1st, 2024. Lastly this week in select cinemas July 6th is a horror film titled The New Boy. It's about a 9-year-old Aboriginal orphan who arrives at a remote monastery run by a renegade nun, played by Cate Blanchett. Check out the trailer for The New Boy. It'll debut in theaters July 6th. That's it for movie trailers from this week. Now let's check out some TV trailers that debuted this week. FX dropped the official trailer for Season 5 of What We Do in the Shadows. The first 2 episodes will premiere July 13th at 10 on FX. Nandor feels his familiar and sometimes friend Guillermo slipping away as he seems to be spending much more time with Laszlo. Naja, suffering the effects of a previously undiagnosed supernatural hex, reconnects with her family, or at least a family, from the old country. Colin pursues the path of so many energy vampires before him by running for political office, and the guide tries to figure out where she fits in as the relative newcomer in this tightly knit group. Check out the trailer for What We Do in the Shadows. It'll debut on FX July 13th. AMC also released Season 2 trailer of Dark Winds. The first 2 episodes will premiere on June 19th at 7. Actor Coleman Domingo is the host of the show, and he shares personal and natural stories as he takes viewers through 4 American cities: Savannah, Georgia, Philadelphia, New York, and Chicago. Check out the trailer for Season 2 of Dark Winds. It'll debut on AMC June 19th. Starz released this week the trailer for Season 2 of Minx. It's set in 1970s, and it centers around Joyce, an earnest young feminist who joins forces with a low-rent publisher, played by Jack Johnson, to create the first erotic magazine for women. In Season 2, Doug, Joyce, and the entire Bottom Dollar crew grapple with Minx's explosive success, which takes them all to thrilling new places and brings more money, fame, and temptation than anyone knows how to handle. Check out the trailer for Season 2 of Minx. It'll premiere on Starz July 21st. That's it for TV trailers. Thanks for listening to this episode of FilmBookCast. You can find more of my work on film-book.com. To search for Chris Banks or FilmBookCast. If you listen to this podcast on iTunes or another podcast service, please rate and review this episode. If you're listening on YouTube, please like our video, subscribe to our channel, and please leave us a comment in the comment section. Please also consider becoming one of our patrons on patreon.com/filmbook. Your support helps us create more engaging content. Tune in next week for the next episode of the FilmBookCast.